Welcome back to Dry Hollow Homestead. Today I'm going to take you along while I milk. I'm going to show you how I do it. Everybody has a different technique, and this is how I do it here on the homestead. So first I am inside. I get 2 buckets. I'll show you that. Okay, have my bibs on. I have my clean large bucket that I usually milk into, and that has 3 clean cloths, washcloths, and I have my smaller wash bucket is what I usually do in this. Just like 1 dab of Dawn and then hot water. And that's our hot soapy water. Now we will get our muck boots on and we will head out to milk the cow. Ah, there's the mama peeps. Mama and peeps. She has 11 and they're doing awesome. I don't know how she's doing. She's such a good mama, and you do not want to come near her. Watch one of my shorts and you'll find out why. Oh, did somebody already give you some hay? Well, hello, Miki. Are you in the stanchion waiting for me? Oh, what a sweet girl. Oh, what a sweet girl. Yep, she's full. So there is a tiny little hook there, a nail. I'm going to put my water, my soapy water, and then I will put my husband made this little shelf for me, and it has my milking stool and my brush and some bag balm and blue coat, red coat, another brush, and a little bit of chicken poop. Isn't that fun? So I am going to, I usually put, there's a rope like with a clip on the end next to her, and I run that through here. I don't really have to, but I just kind of run it. I don't even clip it anymore. And then I will start brushing her out. Let's see if I can get you a good angle. So I hang this on the hook here, the soapy water, and then I always get my milking stool down and put it where I would use it. And then I put my milk bucket up here until I'm done brushing her out, because I don't want any junk to fall into it. Alright, I have you right next to my cow, so we will see. She already rubbed up against it. Let's see if she'll let me leave it there. So I'm brushing her out really well. She's starting to get her winter coat a little bit thicker. Always brush really well. And I brush under her and her bags. I brush them really good. You don't want anything falling in your bucket once you've begun. So I do this first. And my bucket's up high, so nothing falls in it right now. And then I'm going to bring my milking bucket with my cloth down on my milk crate that's next to me. And then I'm going to start washing her udders. So. So I take one of my cloths or my bucket, I put it in my soapy water, wring it out. She's not really dirty. Maybe you can see a little better than I can. She does have little scrapes. This is from her calf. They're healing up. And so I'm not going to use this one again. I'm going to set it to the side, and then I'm going to get my second wash rag, soapy water, and I'm going to get each teat, each little nip, big nip, whatever, and I'm going to turn the nipple towards me and make sure I wipe at the very tip. And then I'm going to use another corner. I'm going to do one corner for each teat, wiping the tip. Okay, look good? Looks clean. Next part is to squirt 3 squirts from each teat, each nipple onto the ground. I have this black mat here. That actually, if there were any clots, big white clots, I could see them very clearly on here. That's just a good idea to spray it onto something before. But you definitely want the first 3 out and not in your bucket, because they have the highest bacteria count in what has been sitting in her teeth.
What if we don't have a black mat?
You can use your muck boots. You can spray it on there. Done that before.
And what are you looking for?
White clots. Big white clots. Just like in mastitis in humans. Any kind of clottiness or anything. She's never had mastitis, so I have zero expertise on that. She's never had mastitis, and I'm very thankful for that. So now, I have my dry rag. If she was like really sopping wet with soapy water, I could dry her. She's not because she wasn't that dirty. But I keep that on my thigh, just if I need to wipe my hands again. And I usually use that to wipe out my bucket just in case a piece of hay or anything else got in it. And then I'm going to get to milking. So it doesn't matter which two you do at a time. Some people say that you get into a rhythm and you do like the one closest to you first. You could do these two. You could do it crisscross. You could do it both front, both back at one time. But this works best for me to do the two closest to me first.
Mickey.
And you're going to do this until there's not much coming out when you're doing it. Then you're going to strip that teat, and I'll show you how to do it when we're there. But you squeeze, pinch at the top, and roll your hands down. That's how you milk. Now these back teats are so much smaller. I have to use my thumb and my forefinger and my middle finger to milk. Sometimes I can get around it with my whole hand. That's a lot faster. She has a lot of milk, so it's actually a lot easier when she's very full. If you're having a cow that isn't letting down milk very well for you, you can mimic what the calf does and bump. Not like hurting her, but bumping up at her. That'll help her milk let down. But her milk is down. You can tell she's very full. So I will probably have this all the way to the top. So I like to do one side, the side closest to me first, and then switch to the other side. Do you want to see how much I've already got in my bucket because I've been talking to you? All right, if you want to...
Can you go show what the cameraman has to go through?
This is what my husband was sitting under, getting eaten over, trying to hold the camera. She's great. But I would never be able to do this with one hand. It would take forever. So I'm going to set the tripod up. By the way, you only get foam on top if you're really fast. So I have a neighbor who's an old order Mennonite. She's never driven a car before. Horse and buggy all the way. She remembers when she was little, her grandfather told her she could milk the cow, but she had to have at least 2 inches of foam on top. She said she worked her hands like crazy and she could not get any foam on top. She thought it was way too hard. So yeah, you have to go fast to get the foam, but then when you get the hang of it, there's always foam. Ouch, sometimes those flies bite. Now the calf is not on her anymore. Between the cuts on her teat and me not getting any milk, we have pulled her. She's nearly 5 months and she's huge. So I'm milking
Children are doing their morning chores.
her. Look at her. She likes watching everything that goes on. She's quite a curious cow. Someday I'm gonna get her on camera. She runs and jumps up in the air like a bucking bronco up against our little apple tree to scratch her back. It is so funny. People definitely prefer the camera to sit still. She has one teat that gives more than everybody, all the other teats, and that is this one in the back. The opposite side of me, in the rear. That's her money teat. I can feel those scabs on her.
Or if they feel the milk going back up.
Yeah, you can feel if you haven't got it pinched enough at the top, if you're just kind of, I can't even, it's such a habit now, I can't even do it. But if you're not getting very much, you're not pinching the top very well. Pinch the top and roll back down. Or if you're just getting used to it, you can go like this. That's actually called stripping, and it'll take you forever if you did it that way. But you would know that it's not going up and you're pushing it back out. It would take forever that way.
You don't hurt her?
No, it doesn't hurt her. You definitely want to have trimmed fingernails. Don't be coming out here with long fingernails, and be careful not to put your fingernails into her. Keep them trimmed up. That's the only way I've seen her get hurt. My daughter came out and she went like this, and her fingernail cut her, and she kicked. You know, she tried to move, but I could definitely understand that. So you don't want to put your fingernails. You're not trying to do that. You're trying to use your hands and your fingers, and you're rolling down. And then my hands always get sore before I'm done, so I kind of just start going back and forth, giving one hand a break from one position. My stainless steel bucket is 3 gallons if I get it to the top, but a lot of it, there's foam. There's quite a thick layer of foam on top, so I can usually fill it up to the foam being above. We'll see if she's got that much milk. It kind of looks like it to me. So I've got a very nearly full bucket. She's starting to run out of milk. This is how we strip. Take just your finger and your thumb and your forefinger. And you see how it comes out? This is actually going to be your cream. Do this until nothing comes out. Like it is getting a smaller and smaller little squirt each time. And then that teat is stripped out. You don't go back to it once you have it stripped out. Yep, there you go. There's like nothing coming out. Okay, next teat. Oh. Actually, there's quite a bit more in this one. It's funny because if I push her bag up a little bit, I get more milk out. I don't know if that's just the shape of her bag's kind of different. Okay. And then I'm going to strip that one out too. This takes the longest out of this whole process of stripping, but it's important, especially if you do not have a calf on her, to strip her out so that she doesn't get mastitis. And like I said, we have no experience with mastitis yet. Thank God. She is not prone to it, but we do all kinds of stuff to prevent that from happening. I'm very cautious about it.
This is one of the best things you can do.
This, just making sure you are getting all her milk out when you milk. Milk setting in there is what's going to cause mastitis. She's going to get an infection from milk left in. And then if you do get mastitis, there are tests you can get, a CMK. They are at any kind of farm store, and you will just squirt a little bit onto this pan that has 4 little spots, and then you'll put liquid in. And if it turns a certain color, it'll have directions, then you know you have mastitis in it. You can treat with antibiotics, but then you have to dump the milk, I think for 2 weeks. So that's awful to milk and not get that, be able to use that milk. Have to give it, just dump it for 2 weeks. So I'm thankful that we've never had that, but I'm sure at one point in our lives, of milking lives, we will. Okay, this one is stripped out. Her back teats always have more milk than the front. I don't know if it's because they actually have more or because they're so hard to get milk out of. Maybe you can, oh good gravy. Cows like it if you sing to them. They like hymns most of all.
Yours does.
Yeah, most of them do. They like soft, calming music. Supposedly they don't like other animals around them, and they don't like kids and noise of any kind. She's not too particular. She's very curious, so sometimes I think she likes to have something to watch while she's getting milk. She can see the road from where we milk, and she'll watch when tractors go by, horse and buggies. I forgot to strap her in. Thank you, Miki. Important part. Every time, say thank you. Thank you for what you've given us. Okay, we are back in the house for milking. I've got nearly 3 gallons of milk here. I'm gonna need another gallon. I better wash something up. I use this pot, the stainless steel pot. This is awesome for scooping it out, ladling it out. If I were to try to pour this, it would be a disaster. And I ladle it out through my filter, which is actually a reusable coffee filter that has a very fine mesh filter in it. I've seen people use, like I use for cheesecloth, I do kitchen towels, flour sack towels. I've seen people do that. I'm sure that would work just fine too. Just something with that can filter any kind of hair or debris. Nothing fell in my bucket, but I always do this every time. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean nothing is in it. So you definitely don't want to be drinking any cow hair or dust from hay. That happens too. Like she's eating hay and then picks it up in the air a little bit, and then wind happens and you get a little bit of hay dust on it. That usually sits on top of the foam, and foam does not go through the filter, so that never really gets into the milk part. So I'm going to do this. Now, when you milk, the cream, even just from going out milking and walking back in, the cream is on the top. So you're going to have the most cream on the gallon that you first scoop off or pour out. So don't walk in from milking your cow and then give the first little bit to your cat or whatever. Just know that you're giving away your cream. The most cream is at the top. Just like in the udder, the cream rises to the top. It is the last thing to come out. That's why you want to spend all that time stripping, because that's your cream. And cream equals butter, which is life. So definitely don't want to skimp on that. Just know what you're doing if you're going to. Or if you splash it out while you're walking back in, that's your cream splashing off the top. Okay, I'm going to need to find another gallon. I will be right back. I'm keeping my bibs on because I got to scoop poop in a minute. Part of having a cow is also being a farm work hand, and I have to clean out her stall. Okay, scooping into our last gallon. This works great. I've actually never had a need for, they have larger funnels and like some actual milk filters that have, like, you throw away these little circles of paper. Never had to do that. I've never felt the need to. This works awesome. And I probably got this idea off somebody on YouTube, because when I really wanted a milk cow and was doing all kinds of research. Rinse this, by the way. Anything stainless steel, rinse it with cold water before you wash with hot. Rinse it with cold. It will get milk stones if you do not. Same with your milking bucket and your stainless steel anything. Stainless steel anything needs to be wiped or rinsed with cold water before hot soapy water. And that's all I clean with. I don't do any kind of bleach or anything like that. I've never seen a need for it. If we had a contamination problem, I would probably go through and do bleach. But this has worked great. Just really hot soapy water. Just clean. Just be clean. Okay, right at 3 gallons. And just be, you know, as clean as you possibly can without any harsh chemicals. So, rinsing that with cold water, putting the lids on these, and then I'm going to put these in my freezer for 1 hour. I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. It's important to set a timer. And then I'm going to stick them in my fridge. The whole purpose of that is just to cool that temperature down quickly, and it will supposed to help make these this milk taste fresher, to last longer in your fridge. Raw milk doesn't go bad, it sours, which was used to, you know, make biscuits and all kinds of things. Sour milk doesn't mean it's going to make you sick, it just has a different flavor. But we want it for fresh drinking and for making cheese, so I always do this 1 hour flash freeze and then stick it in my refrigerator. So I hope you enjoyed this time with me today on how I milk here with 1 cow on a homestead with a large family. This is what works. This was how much time? I don't know, 20 minutes out of my day. We have 3 gallons of fresh milk this morning. I will do this evening also, and I get more cream in the evening, so that's my favorite time to milk. It is nice in the morning, but we didn't start really early this morning. But it's nice in the morning when this fall air is cooling everything down, and to be sipping coffee. I have even, and this is one of the reasons I wanted a milk cow, I've taken my milk, or my coffee in my mug outside with me while I milk. and squirted milk straight from the udder into my coffee, and it was glorious. Let me tell you, the perks of being a milk cow owner. So I'm going to finish this up. Have a great day. God bless. And let me speak Jesus to you in wherever you are. And I will see you again next time. Bye.